Thanks for being with me tonight. I hope you're having an awesome week. Tonight I'm going to be featuring the Touch of Ink stamp set. Oops, over here. It is on page 12 and 13 of our celebration brochure. This is an item that you can get free with a $100 purchase, but it looks to be lots of fun. I have not used it before tonight, so I thought this would be a good choice for this evening's Facebook Live. And I've had lots of talk about it. Recently, many of my customers have chosen this as their free item. So I wanted to show you some cards using this. It is a two-step stamping stamp set, meaning that you stamp an image and then you have a stamp that fills in the color of that image. Okay, so let me flip my camera around while I'm doing that. Please feel free to share. I always appreciate your sharing. That tells me you like what you see when you are here, and you would like to invite others to participate with us. All right, moving forward, I said we would use the Touch of Ink stamp set, which involves two-step stamping. I want to make 3 cards with you tonight, so I have made cut 3 card bases in 3 different colors. I'm using Petal Pink, So Saffron, and Pool Party, and each of these card bases measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I've scored at 5 1/2 inches on the long side. So just a little bit different fold. You still get 2 cards per 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock. Then I've also cut a piece of coordinating designer series paper from the Fine Art Floral designer series paper, which is in our mini catalog right now. And I've cut one 5 1/4 by 4 inches to coordinate with each of the 3 cardstock colors I chose. Then I have also cut another piece of the cardstock to coordinate with the 3 card bases. Same 3 colors, I cut them 1 1/2 inches by 4 3/4, and then each of them I cut off an angle at the bottom, and it will act as a little banner that hangs. So let's start by putting the card bases together, and then we'll do our 2-step stamping. So this extra piece of cardstock is just going to act as a little hang tag or hanging banner. The Fine Art Gallery Designer Series paper is gorgeous. I love all the floral patterns and papers, but today I've chosen to use the reverse side of many of them because I wanted more of a background look instead of a focal point with the designer series paper that I've chosen. Oops. This one had a piece of adhesive sheet. I had been cutting letters in that color, so I'll just use the pull off the backing of that adhesive sheet, and that will work fine. I also have a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside of each card, and this measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I'll be stamping a small sentiment on the front of each of these cards, so I'm going to leave the inside piece blank. But if you are stamping or want a sentiment or message on the inside of your card, you do want to stamp before you adhere this piece of basic white to the inside. That way, if you make a mistake, you can simply flip the cardstock over and re-stamp, and you won't be wasting any of your cardstock either. All right, so I have my card bases ready now. I've got my envelopes. Now I want to do some stamping. I have die cut the largest stitched circle from the Stitched Shapes Dies collection. And this is what I will be stamping on. There will be some stamping off. We won't get all the image right on the circle, so therefore I'm using this piece of grid paper as scrap. So on the first one, we've got this beautiful butterfly, and this is what I mean by two-step stamping. There's an outline image, and then there's a solid image which is used to fill in the color of that stamped image. And let's see, with this one, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in my Memento Black. Now, black's kind of harsh. Maybe I don't want that. Now I'll do the black. That was the original plan. I'm just going to stick with it and go with it. So there's my black butterfly. And I want to add some color. I think for this, I will add the petal pink color. So I'll just ink up this solid piece very well. This is an easy two-step stamping set for two reasons. Number one, it's photopolymer, meaning we can see through the stamps themselves. They're clear stamps that we can see right through. The other thing is the larger solid image is sort of oversized, and even kind of when you put it on, kind of even gives you a sort of a watercolor wash look to it. So you're not trying to fit in to the solid outline of the image itself, just like that. And now, I need to move some things along here. I'm going to add some of this greenery, and I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. Stamp the outline. Oh, this seems rather dry. Let me check. Oh, I guess it's okay, but I think it needs to be re-inked. I'll do that later. Just like that. And then I'm going to go back in there with, I guess I'll just use Mossy Meadow again. If you wanted to do two different colors of green, that works well too. You can also stamp off and then stamp the leaves to get the lighter shade, or you can keep them dark. And again, you don't have to match these solid images exactly to the lined image. They are created that way. And I think this is a good example. You can see how the solid green goes outside the outline of the leaves, just as the petal pink solid went outside the lines of the butterfly. That aside. And now I'm ready to add this to my card front. Super simple, wouldn't you say? Sometimes people shy away from the two-step stamping. If you are one of those people, I hope that from now on you will take a second look when you see two-step stamping, because it really is much easier than you think it is, especially with a stamp set that is designed in this way. Number one, it's photopolymer, and number two, the images, the solid images don't have to fit perfectly inside the lined images. Now there's all kinds of little sentiments here. Best wishes, thank you so much, hope, love, thinking of you, hello friend. I think on this one, I'm going to stamp hope. And let me grab a smaller block. And I think I'm going to stamp, where is it? Here it is. I'm going to stamp this in black because I want that word hope to kind of stand out, and I am going to stamp it on the angle of my tag. Oh, I think that's pretty. Now we can always go back in later and add some embellishments, whether it be ribbons, pearls, things like that. Okay. Moving on, let's do the So Saffron card next. If I leave this one here for you to view while I'm doing this. We'll do our So Saffron card next. And I would say, let's do some of these flowers. And I'm going to stamp the outline of this flower, the stems and the outline, in soft suede. I'm also going to stamp another bunch of flowers a little bit lower to really fill up that circle. And then I will stamp the inside of the flowers with So Saffron. You can see I'm doing sort of a monochromatic look. That's ready there. I would like to add a sentiment. And this time I'll add thinking of you. And I do have a request tonight. The thinking of you literally made me think of this request. I have a couple of friends whose families have suffered some terrible losses this week. If you are a prayerful person or a spiritual person in any way, if you would just say a quick prayer for those families who are grieving this week, I would appreciate it. And please know that all of your needs are included in my prayers as well. So this time I put the sentiment at the top of that banner. So I'm going to lower my circle just a little bit on the front, so that sentiment at the top does not look crowded in there. Does anybody have the Touch of Ink stamp set? Set that there. And then finally, we have the pool party card to finish. And this time, I would like to stamp the hummingbird. And I think that I will stamp this hummingbird in black also. Okay, the only problem I have with this is I'm not getting the whole wing there. I'm not sure if that's going to bother me or not. I do want to go back in though, and I want to put some flowers in here. Oops, that's not the color I wanted. Let me wipe that off with on my chamois. Okay. Going to do this lightly. So I'm using that soft suede again, but I'm stamping off first. And then I'm going to fill in the flowers. Let me again clean off that solid flower stamp on my chamois. And I'm going to fill in with Pool Party, keeping with my monochromatic theme. Thank you all. I'm so happy to see so many of you on here tonight. If you would be so kind as to share this live, I would appreciate it greatly. To look and see where I'm matching up here. Oops, I don't think I had that quite right. I missed that. Let me go back there. And then I'll do this one. So now it looks like the hummingbird is taking nectar from the flowers. And then, let's see, for my hummingbird, I want to put him on like this. And I don't really know what color hummingbirds are, to tell you the truth. I should know. I had one here in my yard last year. I'm going to try this shaded spruce. That might be a little much, but I'm going to give it a try. Oh, not bad. I stamped off with my shaded spruce first. Did you see that? So I got a lighter image. That's not too bad. Now, if you're feeling like the monochromatic is just a little too simple for you, feel free to mix and match all of your colors that you're stamping, for your ink you're using for your stamping, along with the cardstocks you're using. I'm going to stamp a sentiment here. I think I will use Hello Friend. So tonight you've seen that you can use one card layout multiple times and change out the elements on each card, whether it be, I think I'm gonna, oops, you know, I'm gonna pull this guy down a little bit and put my Hello Friend up here. But by changing out the colors, the designer series paper, the stamped image, the sentiments, you basically get 3 different cards, but they were all made very much the same, in the same way, because they use the same elements. And by that I mean the same designer series paper, the same shapes, the same layout, but I've changed up the colors as well as the stamped images and sentiments. So what do you think? Does this make any of you interested in the Touch of Ink stamp set? I know lots of people are butterfly and hummingbird enthusiasts. So that might interest people. One thing I wanted to comment on also is that, and I'll just stamp this on another circle. I'll stamp this butterfly. But I wanted to show you that you can also add multiple ink colors. So for example, let me grab a few. So for example, on this butterfly, I can use my Stampin' Write markers to color various colors. I started with, what was that, pumpkin pie, and now I'm using mango melody more in the center. And then lastly, I'm using the So Saffron. I might even want to come in with something darker in some areas like this. This is terracotta tile. You want to huff on it. That remoistens the ink, because some of the ink when you first started might have been dry. And see how now I have multiple colors in here? Quick and easy, wasn't it? You can also apply various colors to one solid stamp using your sponge daubers and ink pads. That works just as well. Let's try that with the, how about if we try it with the hummingbird? I'll stamp him in black, but I need help. Can you give me some suggestions on colors? Oh, I'm not going to be able to see the comments, am I? Because this is acting up tonight. Let's see if I can get lucky and see the comments now. No, I don't know why it's not working tonight. That's one thing crazy about Facebook. You can do the same thing and time after time. I'm gonna look here and see. Oh, nope, I can't even see all the comments. So that's not going to work. I guess I'm on my own tonight for the colors of my hummingbird. But you know what? I can look back. Somebody's saying, I see and purple. I don't see anything else. I see and purple. Crazy how that works. Crazy and frustrating, I should say. All right, I see a purple. What would go with the purple? I've got Highland Heather. No, I've got Gorgeous Grape, I think. Yes, Gorgeous Grape. How about Misty Moonlight? And what else would go with that? Maybe Pretty Peacock? Purples with blue and green? Oh, okay, then I'm gonna go with this. Thank you, Vicki. And I really have no idea where to put these colors, but we'll just figure something out here. So that's Gorgeous Grape. I'm using Misty Moonlight. And I've got Pretty Peacock. For those of you that are just jumping on and joining me, my apologies, but I'm not able to see comments tonight. But I will look at them once the video is complete. I'm gonna stamp this off here and see how it looks. Ugh, I'm not loving it. I think I need a brighter green. I think all my colors were too dark. They were kind of blending together. Okay, let's try that again. This is one of those moments, like I've told you in the past, sometimes you just have to try something and see how it works for you. Melanie, thanks so much for sharing. I only get like 3 or 4 messages to pop up at one time. So I'm trying to catch at least a few of those, but thank you very much for sharing. You know how I like to have audience participation when I do these. Oh, I think I'll like this a little better. It's a little bit brighter. Oh, not bad. Okay, so there's my hummingbird. He just needs a little flower or something there. So there's an example then of how, and should we do one more? We might as well. We might as well finish it off with the flowers. And I will stamp this in black as well, just for something different. And I'll show you the example of putting ink on the solid stamp with, if I can find it, here it is. I will put ink on this solid stamp using sponge daubers. So we'll change things up a bit for this last coloring bit. Okay, so how about, I'm really in the mood for purples and pinks. I think I will pull in some Highland Heather. I'm just going to dot it in places on my stamp. I will go with some Daffodil Delight as well. And I think I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of Blackberry Bliss also. Just a tad bit. And let's see what happens. Remember, you need to huff on that because some of those first inks that you put on, that's kind of pretty. Some of those first inks that you put on can be dry by the time you put your last inks on. So that's why we huff on it. And I'll use some Highland Heather again. And I'll also add some daffodil. I got more of the daffodil on this one. So you kind of get that tie-dye look in there. I'm not sure I love it, but there's examples of how you can do monochromatic cards, but then add second and even third, 2, 3, 4 colors of ink to any of those solid images to add more color to your flowers and leaves and butterflies and hummingbirds. Okay, are there any questions tonight? I feel like giving away a card. Are you interested in perhaps winning a card? Karen Birch, yes, I am seeing your comment right now. Yes, you can color with the Stampin' Right markers on your photopolymer stamps, just like you can the rubber stamps. Now, this works very well with these because they are water-based inks. So you, even if they dry, you just huff on them, breathe on them heavily, and that remoistens the ink and allows you to stamp multiple colors on one image. This does not work so well though if you're using Stampin' Blends. Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based markers, so they dry very, very quickly. So those do not lend themselves as well to stamping or coloring on the photopolymer stamps and coloring on the rubber stamps the same way. But yes, you certainly can do that. Oh, thank you all. I'm seeing love your cards now that I can finally look up. And I thank you for being here. I don't know what the glitch is with Facebook tonight that I'm not able to see all your comments as they are coming through live, but I will go back and read them all, and I do appreciate them. I appreciate your time being here this evening with me and giving me the opportunity to share my love of stamping and paper crafting and everything Stampin' Up! With you. Trying to see, is there something else? But I will go back. I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate your feedback and your input. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday at 2 p.m. on Stampin' Peace VIP group. Until then, make it a good week. Stay safe and healthy. And I look forward to seeing you again and sharing more stamping with you. Have a great night.